What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's your boy Chris Dow. I got my guy Ty in the building. The rest of the fellas are gonna fall in, Clarence and Mark. Uh, we are here, Chiefs Kingdom, here to talk about the schedule. We're gonna get into it. Let's talk Chiefs.
Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Queen of Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to win him early, hear the truth. Tune in every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chiefs podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Chris style. Out here repping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Once again, we are here today to talk about the Chiefs schedule. Before we do that, what's up, Ty? How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. Ready to break down the schedule.
Yeah, man. Clarence and we had DJ Ant for a little bit, but he was having a little technical difficulties, so he's gonna come back up and get into the schedule. But before we get into the schedule, how you feeling about the schedule, Ty?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. It looks better than last year, but like I always say, we never know until we actually get there. Like we can predict the strength of schedule now, but when we really won't know until we get to the season how these teams are, and there's a lot of factors, injuries, and stuff like that. But looking at it now, I feel pretty good about this schedule.
Yeah, according as of right now, according to all the numbers and metrics from last year calculated, we have the 16th hardest schedule out of all 32 teams. So it's definitely better than last year when we had one of the top hardest
Yeah.
schedules. The Eagles this year, of course, have the hardest schedule because they're playing the first place schedule. That's what happens when you win your division, go to the Super Bowl, all that good stuff. You get a first place schedule. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond from also losing the Super Bowl and having a harder schedule and a harder road to get back.
Right, because last year they had the easiest schedule.
Mhm.
Now this year they
Yeah.
have the hardest, so it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see that.
Just alone from their division is not going to be easy.
Yep.
Going into it last year, everybody thought that the NFC East was going to be a cupcake schedule, but it ended up not. What two or three of the teams from that division went to the playoffs.
Made the playoffs, and the Commanders were competitive.
Yeah, they were right there. They could have very well made it themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see how that division shapes out. But all right, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. As you see right here, week 1, we got the Detroit Lions. Now, not gonna lie, when I first saw the Detroit Lions as our season opener, the first game of the season, I did not think it was going to be Chiefs versus Lions. We dropping the banners, showing Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champions. I'm thinking, hey, you know what? How about the Bengals? Maybe even the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I would have been happy if it was the Raiders,
Yep.
but it's the Detroit Lions, man. And look, no disrespect to the Lions, you know what I'm saying? Because I think actually the Lions are going to win their division this year. I think they're going to be very, very good team. Last year, they were very competitive. Offensively, they were one of the better teams in the league. I think they were at least top 3 in the league as far as offense, as far as points, and all first down, all that good stuff when it comes to offenses go. They were top in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. This has nothing to do with the Lions as far as the team goes. I think it's going to be a hard, competitive game. I think it's going to be high scoring. But I just wish we were opening up against a better team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I just wish we were opening up against a team like an AFC team, like you said. I just wanted that satisfaction to hang in the banner on one of our, rival teams out there. But it's the Detroit Lions. I think they're going to be a good team this year. The defense took, they added pieces this offseason. So I definitely think that they're going to be playoff contenders this year. So I do think this is going to be a good game, but I think the Chiefs will pull away. obviously towards the end.
It must be talking about the Detroit opener.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was. I mean, that definitely took me off by surprise too, because even so, I know we were talking about all the possibilities, stuff like that. I knew they weren't opening up against nobody, Cincinnati, anything like that, because for playoff purposes, down the stretch, they always gonna do something like that. Am I surprised as far as late as it was? I mean, we're talking about week 17. I thought that might be a little bit late. But I mean, and then I started thinking maybe it was going to be the Buffalo Bills, but then I was thinking like, well, they had the opener last year with the Rams, so I'm like, not most likely. I was thinking it's going to be probably a divisional appointment, but yeah, the Lions kind of took me off guard. I would say what kind of takes off some of the
yeah. Look like he's having technical difficulties again. But yeah, pretty much what we
Yeah.
we thought it would be a better season opener, a team more exciting, more pizzazz. Now I get it. CBS probably wanted to keep both the Bills and the Bengals game. Those are marquee games for them. They don't want to give those up. Um, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? But still, I thought it was going to be a better team to open up against. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Jacksonville looks like they could be at least be a prime contender in the AFC. They're getting Calvin Ridley. They got some pieces in the draft and in the offseason. So this is not going to be an easy game because week 2 in Jacksonville, it's going to be hot. And I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs lose this game right here, even though they're gonna be coming off of a good rest because they're playing on the Thursday night against Detroit, so they'll get at least 10 days of rest. So I know they'll be rested. It'll give Andy Reid and them time to prepare, especially since against Dougie P. He pretty much knows how Dougie P runs his stuff. So, um, but still, when you're in that sauna in Jacksonville, it's just different. We saw it last year when the Buffalo Bills went up to Miami in week 2, and that game, both teams were exhausted. Both teams, like Josh Allen, looked like he had to be put out on the stretcher at the end of the game. That's how hot it was out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game, the Chiefs, don't look as strong as they look in week 1. Like week 1, I expect them to take care of business. But Andy Reid is 9-1 since being
Yep.
with Kansas City in season openers. Patrick Mahomes is 5-0 since being the quarterback. I think he has 19 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, something like that. So
Yep.
so I expect us, and you giving a whole off season for Andy Reid to prepare for you. I expect us. I'm not saying it won't be competitive, but I expect us to win against Detroit, especially with the banners being dropped and everything. With the season opening, prime time, yeah, I expect the Chiefs to come out and pull out their full arsenal in this game. But Jacksonville, I don't think they're gonna pull out their full arsenal. Andy Reid likes to play things close to the vest. I think it's gonna be very vanilla. I think they just
Yep.
try to play this game, be just enough competitive, and get the hell out of Jacksonville. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the week 2 part. Anytime you're traveling to play a playoff team on the road, it's tough, but especially when you're playing, that team on the road, and it's going to be hot, like you said. It's probably going to be 90 plus degrees there at that point. So expecting us to win that game is going to be tough. They're going to be a lot more used to that heat than we are because they got a full training camp coming up in that stuff where it's going to be 100 plus probably a lot of those days. So they'll be used to that more than the Chiefs will, obviously. I definitely agree with you about the week 1. Anytime Andy Reid has all these months to prepare for you, he's going to rip your heart out. He's going to know exactly what you want to do, and he's going to counter it perfectly. Like you said about week 2, he's probably going to hold stuff closer because this is a team we could see possibly in the playoffs too. So that's another thing to think about with that.
Wasn't too long ago when Kansas City paid a visit down there to Jacksonville. Obviously, different staff and different personnel. Clearly, um, I'm thinking it's going to be more of a close game, similar to how it was in the playoff matchup just recently. Because I mean, let's just be real. It was, I mean, Mahomes, yeah, he got hurt and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard to tell, honestly. I think it is going to be close though. It's going to be one of those one score kind of games, especially as your first road game, especially when you're dealing with some of the rookie talent and what that's going to look like, and have some of them pieces having to step up. But I think this might be I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think this is going to be a Pacheco breakout game, though. That I can see.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I can see that.
I
I
just think
like
they
that.
changed up the pace, and I think as opposed to airing it out, I think you're going to see a little bit more of the emergence of the running game. I think if to take off some of the pressure, as far as with the receivers, and obviously you're talking about the humidity and all those factors, stuff like that. I think you run the ball to counter that, and I think they will come up with a great game plan to execute that. I still think they'll escape.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, like I said, the main factor in this game is going to be the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be how they handle the heat. And don't get it twisted. Training camp in St. Joe's is not, cool.
No.
It's hot up there.
No.
It gets hot up there too. So they practice in those conditions in training camp, but still, that I don't know, that Florida heat is just different. The humidity,
Yeah. The humidity.
hmm
it just hits different, and they got, especially when they got the pads on, it's just, yeah, it's not the same. So it'll be interesting to see how they combat that. If anybody could do it, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I expect them to be fully prepared for this game. But would I be surprised if Jacksonville walks away with a win? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So, all right. Next up, we got the Chicago Bears. Now, Justin Fields, he had somewhat of a breakout year last year. He did it more with his legs than he did with his arm, but he did have a breakout season. He showed some stuff last year, and they expect him to take a bigger jump this year with the weapons he got. Now he's got DJ Moore over there with Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool. Um, they're pretty much rebuilding over there. I expect us, especially at home, to beat Chicago straight out. I don't think it's going to be that competitive. It could it can look like competitive maybe in the first quarter, but then I think the Chiefs are just going to show that they're the better team, pull away and win this game soundly. I'm not really too much now. This could be now. Let's say we do win the first two games, and we come out of Jacksonville a little bit of sluggish. This could be one of those games where the Chiefs kind of let them hang around a little bit, and maybe they make a few mistakes and they may drop this one to Chicago. But I don't expect that. I expect them to handle their business against Chicago and beat them straight out. So, what's your thoughts, Mark?
You can look at it two different ways. One, not to get caught up in a look ahead game, obviously, because I mean, because if you look at the very next one, you know why.
Yeah.
And also, here's the other side of it, though. I believe this is Justin Fields' first trip to Arrowhead. I believe it is,
Yeah,
and
it is.
usually quarterbacks that are new to the Arrowhead don't
Yeah.
really do too well.
No, you're right.
So, either way, I think this game can get quick, ugly in a hurry. That's what I believe. I mean, despite the variant outcomes of whatever it looks like and stuff like that, but also health factors too. So obviously you want to knock on wood. Hopefully all of them still come out healthy. That's just a hope for every game.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if it was a blowout. I mean, like I said, first timers, good luck.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with what both of y'all are saying. Justin Fields to me showed me something last year. I really like Justin Fields rising on my list of quarterbacks this year for sure. But this could be a tough atmosphere for him, a tough environment. Like you said, never coming to Arrowhead. Normally when quarterbacks do that first time, they struggle. So definitely looking at that as a factor. And there's still have a lot of new pieces on that team, so I don't know that they'll be quite fully gelled by week 3. With all the new faces in the receiving core, on that offensive line, just all around, they got new pieces and new faces. So I think it's going to take some time for all that to gel together and for that to all to come together. And it'll probably be like week 6 before we really see that. So I think this will probably be a blowout game. I think the Chiefs will probably win this game by at least 10 plus.
Don't take notes from Trevor Lawrence saying he wasn't loud or don't get loud.
Yeah.
Right.
He learned that lesson when they had that false start in the playoff game. So
Yeah. And just to backtrack a little bit, going back to the Jacksonville game, that's one of 2 noon games that we have this
Yep.
year.
Mhm.
Most of our other games are going to either be the 3:25 slot or Monday
7.
nighters, prime
Late
time
prime
games.
times. Yeah.
So we got 6 primetime games, which I've learned that you can have up to 7. So expect a flex
The
game.
flex, yeah.
Expect one of
And
them.
if you really think about it, though, the Chiefs have 8 primetime games because New Year's Eve, even though at the time they're playing, it's not necessarily prime time. And then Christmas, too, even though it's at noon, one of our other noon games, it's still, you're the only game on at that time. So,
But what's so funny about that New Year's Eve game is that because it is a noon game. Yeah, but CVS isn't gonna let that game go. Never mind. I was gonna
no,
say
CBS ain't letting
I
that
was,
go.
I was about to say I would be surprised if they
Tony
flex that
Romo will
game.
be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be Tony Romo on that. So yeah. So yeah.
This
Yeah.
could be the AFC Championship preview. That's
Oh
what I
my
hear. We
my
might see this
Chris's favorite
again.
announcer.
I can't stop. Oh my God, here he comes. He's gonna get him. Shut up.
Ooh, that might have been a
Might have been
hold.
It might be a fumble. Shut up. Wait, here you, Tony. That's why you sucked as a football player. But yeah, Chicago, I think we should beat them. Now, let's get to the gusto, baby. Woo! The
Yep.
New York Football Giants, Jets, Jets. Aaron Rodgers in the building. We're going to New York to see what the new look Jets look like. Now, somebody on this panel, I'm not going to name no names, but I am going to point some fingers. Think that the Jets are going to start off 0-2, and that they're going to be what you say, Mark? 9-8.
Yep, around 9 and 8, maybe 8 and 9. It's a possibility.
I mean,
Now look,
it's definitely possible.
the only reason why I disagree with that is because I just believe Aaron Rodgers is motivated. I've seen this before. Y'all forgot. There was a season, 4 seasons ago, where everybody thought Aaron Rodgers was done. He had a bad year. He didn't look good. But now I just think he's motivated, man. I think he's finally like, I'm out of Green Bay. I'm done with that. I'm over here with the New York Giants. I'm with all this young talent.
Jets.
I got
Giants, Jets, who cares? It don't matter. New York Red Bulls, whoever the rest of them, New York Rangers, I don't care.
I got a defense over here, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, man. I'm good. I just think that the Jets are gonna show now. Next year, you can talk to me next year when it falls apart. That's when it's gonna fall apart. See, y'all predicting it too fast. It's next year when it's gonna fall apart. When he doesn't show up to the off-season programs, and you can't find
He's
him.
wanting a new deal. He's wanting another contract. It's coming.
That's when the demise happens.
No, but even so, starts week 1. But
even so, despite I would say I was partly right into him. I mean, say it or however you want to say it and stuff like that. As far as with Rodgers last year, I knew that was a bad contract. I hated it. I never forget. I was on the road. I was on the road. I said I hate
it. Now I do agree. I do agree with you on that. I wouldn't have paid Aaron Rodgers that money personally. If I was Green Bay, I would have jumped on it early and tried to trade him.
Me too.
I would have traded him last year.
You could have got more value last year.
Yeah, I would have traded him last year, and I would have started the Jordan Love train last year. That way,
With
Jordan
all
Love,
the young receivers and
Jordan Love would have been bought into the program last year. They possibly, if Jordan Love looked how he looked, and that was at the end of that Buffalo game, he looked really
we
good.
filled in.
the end of
Yeah.
the Eagles game too.
Yeah, he looked really good. I was really impressed with what I saw from him. So you could have got that. Started a year ahead. Now you may be looking in this year. Maybe y'all at least a playoff contender. Maybe even in the NFC Super Bowl contenders. Like if you add some more pieces to that with Jordan Love, now you got to see what you got in him this year. But I think they should have jumped on it last year. I agree. I wouldn't have paid Aaron Rodgers that money. I would have invested in Jordan Love and adding more pieces to this
around
team.
him.
Yeah, I would have added more around him. Now you see Christian Watson is actually a star. The kid he's got star potential, I would say. Romeo Dobbs is a really good number 2 receiver, so
he could be that slot guy.
So it's definitely, you definitely could have something in Green Bay, but I would have started it a year earlier. That's
agreed.
So, but I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. That I wouldn't have paid him that contract. Now, as far as him going to the Jets, I think that he's going to be motivated this season. I think that he wants to show the people in Green Bay that it's because of me that y'all was relevant. And you know how Aaron Rodgers is when he feel like he's being slighted. He gonna go out there and try to show that he's the man. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up big numbers this year. Like
in the regular season.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying. Regular season Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying I agree with playoff Aaron Rodgers. The last 4 to 5 seasons, I put it on Aaron Rodgers. I don't put it on Green Bay. I put it on Aaron Rodgers because he had opportunities to win those games. Now before then, it was on Green Bay. They wouldn't put nothing around it. They didn't give him no running game. His defense was terrible. Because there was times in the playoffs where Aaron Rodgers was scoring, getting touchdowns, and then his defense would just let him down. Every time. It was like clockwork in the playoffs. He would ball out, but his defense would just let him down every single time. And it was just like, damn. So I don't blame him not getting another Super Bowl all on him. Now the last 4 to 5 seasons, hell yeah, that's on Aaron Rodgers. He had opportunities to win games. He would stare down Devontae Adams when I get it. It's MVS, but still, you gotta throw the football to him. You saw what Patrick Mahomes did with MVS. When he really needed him, he gave him the ball. And we talking like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and debate Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. We all know that Patrick Mahomes, he's a little bit more of a risk taker than what Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers is not like, for all the talent in the world of Aaron Rodgers, he's really a safe dude. Like, he doesn't throw a lot of picks. Yeah, he doesn't like to throw it like in tight cover.
Take risks.
He doesn't take a lot of big risks, even though he probably could do a lot of stuff that Patrick Mahomes can do. He don't really like being risky like that. Like,
he don't have an Andy Reid coaching.
That's true. He doesn't have an Andy Reid scheming things up to open things up for him. You are right about that. That was my other argument for Aaron Rodgers, that he never had an Andy Reid or a Bill Belichick in his corner, offensive minded guru to be like, hey, do this, that, and the third. But still, I would say in the last 4 to 5 seasons, it was on Aaron Rodgers. Especially that playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, you had the whole lane to run the football into the end zone. You got to get it in there, man. Come on, man.
And that's part of it was attributed to why LaFleur made the decision why he that was
why
stupid.
He kicked the field goal.
That was stupid.
That was dumb. You don't take the ball out of your best player's hands.
No.
Andy Reid would never.
No. But with Aaron Rodgers, though, even so, we're talking about regular season Rodgers, and this is part of it, though. And, saying about his mental state and everything, I'm not invested into his mental state and his retreats and all this other crazy stuff, whatever. But watching him struggle, even though I get it's a divisional opponent, against the Detroit Lions, the way he finished last year, especially, that was a huge red flag.
Me too.
And then you're talking about going from a division in the NFC North, who is usually at the bottom of the barrel. And to me, I mean, granted, yeah, on paper they've made some improvements. I still think that, I mean, they're not as bad as the South now. Let's be real, not as bad as that. And then you're talking about translating that over to the AFC side, where we don't know if they're better than Miami. Which personally, I would say their defense. I'll say their secondary, their defense. I mean, make every argument you want and everything. That's what Salah's known for, and he has the right decency to take care of that. I believe the defense will be there. And then you also had to worry about the Buffalo Bills. Do I believe that in ways that they'll take a step back, especially toward the latter part of that schedule for Buffalo? Yeah, I do. But I still have question marks there. I expect them to be better than the Patriots. They can't beat the Patriots. There's a problem.
Yep.
But I still have them third best, and I need this to be a prove it season. I'm tired of the hypotheticals. Yes, he was a great quarterback, and yes, you know, they were when they're full steam ahead, you know, had the 13 and 3s and 13 and 4s and all that. You don't get an automatic 6. Not in this conference.
Yeah.
And then even if you rank them as far as amongst the quarterbacks in the AFC, maybe 5, 6, almost a dangerous 7. So
I put them ahead.
Go ahead.
You put them ahead of
4.
Lamar.
I have them 4. I have them 4 or 5. 4 or 5. But I'll probably put them 4. I put them 4
because I have them behind Burrow, obviously Mahomes,
Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen. I'm not putting Justin Herbert over him. If you want to say,
I'm gonna put Lamar over him.
I'm not mad at that, Ty. I'm not mad if you put Lamar Jackson over him.
I'm on the fringe with Herbert only because he's under a new OC.
Yeah.
So I got to see what that looks like. I mean, Herbert's shown his. I mean, granted, last year we can even look at the play where they. We broke that down and everything when Herbert threw that bad play. You know, threw that bad ball to a tire. But you know, that's a whole different story. Right. And Herbert, I mean, obviously he's going through a contract year. That could be different. I mean, Herbert's another quarterback that has no excuses too.
Right.
But he's on the fringe as far as being that. But Aaron Rodgers, this is show me, prove it. All that stuff. But if he come out flat, which is a strong possibility, we'll see.
I just think this.
It just reminds me last year with Denver. What they did. They went out and got Russ, and then look what happened.
I'm not going to do that to Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to do that to Aaron Rodgers.
They better not. And granted, you know, it's not. And granted, you know, it's not Salah's responsibility. I mean, it kind of is, but at the same time, it kind of isn't because that also comes to show the pressure is on Hackett too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a really, let's just call it what it is, an embarrassing showing. I mean, I've never seen anything that bad in life, period, when it comes to coaching and all that stuff. But, you know, between Rodgers and Hackett, they are definitely in the hot seat. I mean, that seat is boiling. If, you know, the Jets, they ain't risked it all for this guy.
Look, this ain't Green Bay anymore. Like, if Aaron Rodgers goes out there and looks bad in week 1, that media is
going to be all over him.
They're going to eat him alive.
I think he's going to be on no matter what.
And if he goes out there and he does one of his famous media, well, you know, whatever, you know, just relax. The New York media are going to be like, relax. What?
Nah, they're gonna tear into him. It's gonna cause a spiral with Rodgers because of the way he is mentally.
You are not gonna get the Daniel Jones treatment at all, and he under the fire too. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be bad for Aaron Rodgers if he has a game where he looked like he's just terrible, and he comes out in the press conference and be like, "Oh, it's all on me. We got to play better." But if he's like, "Oh, we'll be all right." You can't do that in New York. You can do that in Green Bay.
I'd say I mean, the only way I'll probably been like, okay, give him a little bit more slack as far as with trade. I mean, obviously it wasn't going to happen. If he would have went to San Francisco, because that's a team where they got to do the bare minimum. The coach over there, he pretty much knows how to do with the bare minimum with coaches. But do I trust him under the system with Saleh and Hackett? That I don't know.
We'll see.
When Hackett's running the offense, and the last offense we seen led by Hackett was one of the worst in the league.
This is true. Now you can get me with that one. Y'all got me with that one.
That was trash.
Hackett, yeah, he can't hack it.
There's no defending Hackett.
Yeah, Hackett can't hack it. But back to the schedule. We got a little off track. But back to the schedule. Hopefully, we can finally get this matchup because each time we get Mahomes versus Rodgers,
somebody hurt.
Yeah, one of them got COVID.
COVID.
So hopefully we get the matchup that we've been wanting. We've been wanting to see Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes.
Last time it was Mahomes' knee. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be prime time. Let's hopefully we get it.
I will say this though, if there's a bright spot for wait a minute, that's a Sunday night game, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. That's irrelevant. I must say the only bright side for Rodgers in that first week because a Monday night game is he ain't lost a Monday night game since like 2013 or 2014 Swindon years. That's probably the only bright spot.
But I'm predicting my man Aaron Rodgers comes out and puts 40 on Josh Allen and says what's happening. Week 1. New sheriff's town, boy.
All I know, one of them coaches is gonna be in the hot seat real quick though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a big old smile on my face either way.
I think Sean McDermott's on the hot seat.
As he should. I mean, he's losing both coordinators in the way
they got to tell you, if Buffalo wants to get to the Super Bowl,
they need an offensive-minded coach.
Agreed.
If they want to get to the Super Bowl this year, and I'm not. Trust me, I don't want Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. But if Buffalo want to go to the Super Bowl, they got to change their philosophy. They cannot be Josh Allen centric.
A real running game.
Get a real. If you got to go out there and get Dalvin Cook, go get Dalvin Cook. If you got to go get Derrick Henry, go get. I don't want them to, but if you want to try to at least get to a Super Bowl, you need more balance on that offense.
Yeah.
I don't care if Stephon Diggs is cussing me out every game. You run the football down their throat and have more balance and keep your quarterback healthy. Right. You got to keep him healthy. This is you got 17 games you play? Like, come on, man. You gotta.
You can't be running him like he's Derrick Henry. Just having to run right
to Exactly. That's why he had the elbow injury he had last year.
The UCL and all that stuff and everything, which is funny though, because like I said, I had a rant on these Bills fans and everything for the excuses and all that stuff, and Acho's take and stuff like that, how they were talking about Josh Allen and everything. And I honestly said, and I made an honest critique. I said I felt like they missed their window when Dabo left. They talk about no, that's not right, blah blah blah, and he's better, and he wouldn't be better than everything as far as if he had the weapons and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, but at the same time and everything, and this is the part that I love. I said everybody want to talk about the UCLs and him not having enough time, and Kansas City got the ball back, and who would have predicted that 13-second miracle and everything, but nobody asked for the best defense in the league at the time to blow that game. Nobody asked for you guys to lose to the Jaguars in a 9-6 football game, and nobody asked you to get blown out at home in a situation that was favored for you guys to win, or nobody asked for you to fumble the football against the Minnesota Vikings either. But nobody want to talk about that though, so that's my rant on that one. It's cool though.
Yeah. And I agree with what Chris was saying about them running the ball, but I thought RG3 had a really good take on this the other day. They're not built to run the football this year. You look at that they're not built to run the football this year. So I don't see it changing this year. Maybe that's something they look at changing in the future, but this year I feel like it's going to be the same as it was last year, unless they go out and get one of those running backs, a Dalvin Cook, a Derrick Henry, whoever else is available out there. Maybe even Ezekiel Elliott would do something.
You know what? As much as crap we say about Zeke, he would be an upgrade of what they got over there now. At least he can run.
He'd be a good fit.
At least he can run between the tackles. At least you know that.
Yeah.
If Ezekiel can get you 4 to 5 yards a clip, then you good.
He's a red zone. He's a red zone threat.
That takes pressure off it. If you can get a lot of 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 2s, you can use Zeke in those situations. Like
that's okay. I mean, I want to say Brandon Jacobs was kind of like the same way, where he had that long, he had that burst and everything, where he's able to run for long yards, but then they had to switch it up and everything when they inherited another running back. Then he just became the short yardage back, and that's okay.
And you got James Cook that can be the speed guy, the outside guy, and the guy who can catch the football out of the backfield. Like, you got a 1-2 punch with James Cook and you put Zeke in there. That's cool. That's fine. But if they don't change their philosophy, they ain't gonna win the Super Bowl.
Nope.
That's why I said,
lose the same way.
Yeah.
And even so, that's why I said, looking at that last part of their schedule is going to be the most critical. I think they have. I mean, if we go based off assumptions, they have the hardest stretch like toward the end of the year, and it's going to be tough. I mean, I'm comparing from Kansas City's and Miami's, and I'm like, they got a tough stretch.
And we don't know how Von Miller's going to look back coming off that ACL too. We just don't know.
He's 33, and
He's
that's
older.
a major injury.
Amazing. Yeah. He might look washed this year. You never know.
In a different DC style, I don't know. Like I said, when you switch over switching over coordinators matter. It could work for the best. It could work for the worst. I mean, we seen it work for the best on the defensive situation for obvious reasons. I mean, it took some time, but hey, it worked. And we seen it work, and so we seen all coordinator changes for the worse. Like for example, like even in that when the Bills played Cincinnati, it just looked like a coach that looked like it was lost. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, they got out coached both sides of the ball.
But that's not our problem though. We had the trophy. You guys had the artificial tinfoil, whatever the heck they did with it. That's crazy.
Whatever Von Miller was carrying around the locker room.
That's hilarious.
I don't know what that was. But anyway. But yeah, the Jets game, I expect that to be explosive, high scoring game. But I think the Chiefs pull out the win, baby. I think they pull it out. Next, we got Kirk Cousins and the Fighting Minnesota Vikings.
I hate to say it, that game makes me nervous.
Me too, because it's not a primetime game. So Kirk,
So
it's not even that. It's just that's the consecutive road games. Usually, when you have 2 or 3, one of them tends to be one of those games where you just like they're sleepwalking or something. Something happens, and obviously you gotta deal with Justin Jefferson, who's a headache. And I mean, obviously they're gonna be taking note as far as like with some of these other premier teams and how they able to get him, but it's going to be one of those games I'm a little nervous
and
about.
Jordan Addison too.
The matchups, baby. Darius Sneed, Justin Jefferson,
Trent McDuffie, Addison.
Let's go. Let's wrap up. Let's go.
That's just one of them games that's on my radar. I'm like,
I hear you. I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped this game too.
And going into the division. That's why I just think, strategically looking at the schedule and how they put it together, it makes me a little nervous.
I just want us to come out healthy. Don't they got turf? Isn't that turf? Oh God,
yeah.
God. Boys, let us be healthy.
Yeah, for real.
No concussions, no broken legs and nothing. Jesus. Just want us to be healthy. I don't care if we lose. Just let's be healthy. So no, I hear y'all though. This could be one of those games where we drop, and whatever. It's an inter-division game or inter-outer conference game, whatever you want to call it. So
it doesn't really hurt us for playoff.
Now, this next stretch of 3 games is going to be wild because we got to play the Broncos. We got to play the Broncos twice, and in between the Broncos, we got to play the Chargers. So 3 division games. Starting off with the Broncos in Kansas City. I expect us to win that game.
Me too.
I just think Mahomes. I was listening to Kingdom Cast, and they was like, "What if Mahomes never loses to the Broncos?" Like that would be funny. His whole career, he
never lost.
In the words of Aaron Rodgers, "I own you."
But the crazy part about the Broncos is that they always play us close.
Yeah, it's always tough.
It's not like it'd be blowouts or anything like that. Like
Russ has a breakout game.
As much as we dig on Russell Wilson, I do expect him to be better.
Me too.
Now, what better looks like, that's
in relative terms.
that's yet to be seen. Is it old Russ where he's cooking, or is it just a decent, solid game manager who doesn't mess it up like he was doing it last year? But with Sean Payton at the hill, I do expect Russell Wilson to be better. Um, so I'm not expecting us to blow them out, but I think we do beat Denver at home. Then we got Chargers, and you know how those games go. They're always down to the wire.
Yeah.
So like I said, this stretch, Denver Chargers, Denver, this is going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we go 2-1. We drop one to one of these teams.
I would say
I
Denver on
1,000%
the road.
agree.
Yeah.
And what I'm looking at, to be honest with you, if there's a game they drop, it will probably be that second one against Denver.
Mhm.
I hate the fact
Yep.
that to me, this makes
I
no
hate
sense.
when
And
they
I
do
want,
that.
and whoever came up with this bright idea to schedule these teams 17 days apart is either you're sending a cryptic message to me or the fans or whatever. You know, everybody going to have the assumptions. Maybe you're in there with the books or something like that. I mean, that's just my theory. But I just don't like the idea of 17. I mean, the doggone thing, the playbook don't even have a chance to collect dust, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Even so, with Chargers, I mean, a big difference, obviously, with the OC change. That's going to be interesting. The Chargers always play them close in Arrowhead every single time. And
Yeah.
even so, look at
Yep.
the last 4 or 5 games and everything. They've relatively been close. I mean, the only game where the Chiefs really had dropped it was more so because of all the turnovers they had. That was a turnover game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was. That was like a turnover plagued part of the season.
yeah, and it just came to show. I mean, that's a year we don't really want to talk about. But I definitely see 2-1 in the cards in that, and even so, going back to that one, that could be the stretch where analysts like to ask all the questions. Well, we don't know, and all this stuff. This is where I see that being that stretch right there.
Yeah, because look, you got the Broncos on primetime Thursday night football, so you know that's going to be a tough one right there.
Yep.
Then you got the
Short week.
You got the 3:25 prime game, which will pretty much be the only team on, other than the other NFC team. We're going to be on with the Chargers, so all eyes on that game. And depending on where the Chargers are right there, that might be, I might even be surprised. I don't know when the flex. When can they flex games?
Not until like week 13 or something like this. It's late, like
Yeah.
week 12, week 13. They ain't flexing nothing.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the 3:25 game there. Then we got to come back around and do another 3:25 in Denver. So it's gonna be a tough stretch. It's not gonna be easy. But if we somehow come out 3-0, hey, I'm talking big stuff, baby. Woo!
Yeah. I'm feeling good about that second Chargers game with there being the 10 days in between.
And one thing I will say is this: if you're gonna ask for a 3-game stretch against some division rivalries, at least 2 of them are at home. I will say that. You don't have to travel on the road.
That's true.
It'd be one thing if we had to travel to Denver, then travel to LA, and they don't get one home game. Then I'll be like, man, that's kind of rough. But you get to stay at home for 2 of them and then travel to Denver. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the Chiefs, I'll take that. So,
I mean, it's better than that where they were the 1 or 2 teams where they were the only ones where they had that 3-game stretch on the road, and even so, they came out of that 2-1. So I can't complain about this. I can't complain about that for at least that part of the format of the schedule.
And then but around that time, it's gonna get a little cold, but it won't be crazy cold around that time where it's snowing all over. So it should be relatively cool. You're right. Maybe it might be just our luck. It's gonna be snowing.
The way the weather been going,
it could be in
Denver. It mess around be some stupid mistake talking about 70 degrees in the middle of December. Like, huh? Nah. But we just want good weather.
Then week 9, we travel to Germany.
Yep.
Chiefaholic could be there.
Chiefaholic is on the run right now.
He'll be there.
He's in a different country.
He got his passport.
This guy's passport.
Yep.
Hey, that'd be dope if he came out with a video. What's up, Cheesecake? I'm here in Germany. They can't catch me. I'm on the run.
And all I'm gonna do is take a picture of it and just say, "I told you so."
I got the FBI on me, but they can't catch me. I'm too slippery. I'm too smooth. I'm like Patrick Mahomes, baby.
They're working with him.
He's around a bunch of German fans.
But you know what? The Dolphins, you know, I mean, I'll say this though about that game though. I'm happy for Germany because at least they're getting a quality game. I will say that.
Yep.
I mean, people in Kansas City, they were all pissed off to me. Oh, you robbed the Chiefs and blah blah blah. They ain't robbed nobody nothing. I mean, it's a privilege for them to be able to go over there, go overseas, you know, go see the two top teams and hopefully
exactly.
And hopefully Tua, you know, he ain't on injury reserve by then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But you know, and you know, you get to see, you know, on the other side, you can see Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's going to be a great cornerback versus receivers matchup. This is the matchup everybody want to see. Are these corners ready and stuff like that? I think they made a bold statement, you know, obviously toward the end and obviously doing their job in the Super Bowl and how that's going to carry over and translate and what Spags does at the next level. I mean, I thought Spags did a beautiful job prepping them, you know, all the way up to this season. And I think we're going to see a lot more, especially with some of the pieces. I mean, we still got some question marks on the D line, what they're going to do, but what the additions that they made at linebacker too, my goodness, that defense has potential to be filthy.
I think our first seven, you know, I think the defense as a total can be nice because now Spags don't have to hold back. You know what I'm saying? No. Last year, it was a learning curve with Trent McDuffie, with, you know, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Brian Cooks, you know, George Carlisle. You got to, you know, he kind of had to minimize what he could throw at them, feed them, you know, during the season, so he couldn't do what he really wanted to do.
And then we saw it in the playoffs.
Even in the back half of the schedule, you saw him little by little opening it up more and more and more. And then in the playoffs, like Ty said, he opened up that playbook a lot more. So I expect this season, he's gonna be able to use all his bullets in the chamber and unleash.
I mean, but even so, the difference, and this is the difference between that other fool that I refuse to mention his name on this broadcast or in life period, and what Spags is doing is that one of them will send a blitz and they won't get there, and then the corners will still be lost. Yeah. Versus how it was last year, he would send them, which is why I said that was unheard of for them to get in the backfield and have as many sacks as they did. That was unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
And for that production to happen, and to see what the corners did, stuff like that, and like I said, part of that too was schedule prep and how that all was set up too. Mm-hmm. There was no way you could have convinced me with all the rookies they had playing, you know, corner and all those and whatnot that they would have had only 3 losses. There's no way. Yeah. And truth be told, you can make an argument. I mean, it really wasn't the defense side of the ball; it was more so special teams, which needs to get back to full form this year. Because they will be under the microscope, and you know, just a few turnovers, which happens.
Yeah. No, but like I said, I think the defense will be better. You know, I think, like I said, Spags will be able to open it up, and I think the additions that we've made on that defensive line and linebacker room, I think it's gonna be better than last year.
Yeah,
I just do. I like the Charles Omenihu pickup.
I like the FAU pick.
Yeah, I like FAU pick. Like, I think our pass rush actually got better. You know,
maybe we bring a Frank back.
You bring Frank back to, you know, mentor these young guys some more. Then hey, I'm all for that. Even if you can bring Carlos back if he doesn't retire or want more money or something like that. But if you can get Carlos Dunlap to come back, I'm fine with that.
I just think Clark is more likely because of the fact that we want to get him to get that record.
Yeah,
so makes sense. Yeah.
And Chris Jones is out here campaigning like a mug for him, boy.
Right. Yeah, he is every day.
Yeah, it's like every day. Sign Frank Clark back. And you know what? Hey, why not?
I'm about to campaign for him to make sure they pay him right.
For real.
Yeah, hit the Chiefs up every day. Come on, let's get this contract going. What we doing?
Something else I was going to add about the defense this year. I think with these corners, we'll get to see them travel a lot more. We'll get to see McDuffie and Snead kind of have an assignment for the week. Kind of, we saw that last year towards the end of the season. I think the Seattle game was the first time that we really seen it. We've seen it a couple times after that. So I'm definitely looking forward to a lot more of that. Maybe. And like this is a matchup here. Maybe you throw McDuffie at Hill, or you throw Snead at Hill, and then whoever else at Waddle. So,
and I think, and even so, to add to that too, is that we talking about the linebacker core though. I just think is that I don't recall talking about missed tackles a lot last year at all.
It was the year before that.
I know the year. That name too. That's another cuss word I don't want to mention either. But him and Soren. Never mind. Let's leave it what it is. But having the additional Tranquil, though, I think that's going to be very interesting in how, some of these teams like to use the tight end and stuff like that. You're not going to see that as I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of that actually disappear, because you have a Willie Gay and a Tranquil and a Bolton. That's crazy. The fact that they got all three in a motion.
Don't sleep on the undrafted guy that we drafted, Cam Jones.
Yeah.
He's an athletic linebacker. He's a Willie Gay type, but maybe even more athletic.
Yeah. So don't sleep on him either. Leo Chenal another year in this.
Like Chenal has some spurts too. Yeah,
in the back half of the season, he showed up, and then the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, Leo Chenal was a baller. He was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, doing his thing. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this defense. This offense. As long as you got 15 and Andy Reid, I'm not worried.
And 87.
I'm not worried about this offense, man. I don't care, man. And if Kadarius Toney can just be healthy, for 12 games, I'm okay with that. Let's go, baby.
As long as those are playoff games.
Yeah, man. And then when Justin Ross take over,
and Pacheco too. I think he's due for a little bit more respect than the respect he's getting from even our own fans. I think he's disrespecting to a degree.
I know some fans that are disrespecting him too, but
I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy. He ain't here today. Where's he at?
Where Joe at? Joe, where's you at, man? You supposed to be in the comment section holding it down.
But it'll be 1,000-yard back though. He will be, and it's good. And the fact that McKinnon is coming back though, that's like I said, that's all big.
That takes a lot of pressure off the receivers too, because I think you said it last year, DJ. That McKinnon saved the receivers a lot of the times. I mean, he had 9 touchdowns. I think that's second behind Travis Kelce. So
he did.
But back to this Miami game, it's in Germany. We get to, tap into the Germany market because I heard German markets, because I know that Germany, they like Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes was another guy that they, are big fans of out there. So, but not surprised that they're going to Germany this year. It was just with the Dolphins, I did want to see Tyreek Hill come back to Arrowhead, in a different uniform, prime time, let's go. But I'm not mad at it being in Germany. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? I get it. They want to get the Germany people, a good game, not some throwaway sorry game, you know what I'm saying? They want to get, the Chiefs, Dolphins. Hopefully Tua's healthy. I hope he is healthy. And I hope everybody's healthy mostly healthy for this game.
Last time it was a fairly close game, I think, and I expect a fireworks show basically again this go around. I wouldn't be surprised if both teams were in the 30s. And decided by a field goal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah,
I expect it to be a close game.
And it's before the bye week, so
yeah. And it's 7:30 in the morning. All right, 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Right, somebody's talking about that
in the morning. 7:30 for me. 7:30 for me tomorrow.
Some folks talking about they're going to boycott and not watch the game. I'm calling bull on that. You're going to get up and watch that game. Get serious.
Matter of fact,
they're going to get up, they're going to get a cup of coffee, and they're going to turn the TV on and watch the game.
It's 6:30 for me tomorrow.
Damn. Yeah, 6:30. I'm still going to be up. It don't matter.
I'll be up too. It'll be right before I go to work.
It don't matter.
Right before I go to work, I'm going to be dragging when I work. Sleepy as hell.
You'd be falling asleep.
Yeah. But then we bring in week 10 bye week, which is perfect bye week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
Right in the middle of the schedule. Right in the middle of the schedule.
All divisional teams will lose.
Recharge. We'll probably win the division by week 10 anyway. So, so we'll have everything sold up by then. So then the Super Bowl rematch, Monday Night Football, Philadelphia Eagles. Or should I call them the Philadelphia Bulldogs?
Right.
They got every Georgia Bulldog on the damn defense. But no, it should be a good game. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna say it, Chiefs Kingdom. I hate to say it. I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped this game. I wouldn't. I think, not to say that the Chiefs won't be motivated, but I think the Eagles
it's coming off a bye.
Little bit motivated. Yeah,
coming off a bye.
I know. Andy Reid bye week. I get it.
There's a lot of situational hypotheticals you can throw out there. I mean, we're talking about, by then all the rookies should be settled in with their respective teams now. And then, obviously, you throw out the factor as far as with Andy Reid coming off a bye. But one of the biggest questions and storylines that I'm going to have is you're talking about a team that's going to have, like I said, both OC and the defensive coordinators are gone.
Yeah.
But did they get a lot of the key pieces back? Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a very interesting game. At least it won't be a crappy field this go around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those games where it's just you just kind of sit back and take note, and we'll see where it goes. I just expect a good game. I can't call who's going to win and who's going to lose. I expect a good game.
It's going to be interesting to see how Jalen Hurts looks with what's his name, Shane Steichen.
Yeah. That's my biggest question.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how. Now, do I think Jalen Hurts is going to be good? I think he is. I think he's
I agree. He's still in the line attack.
Yeah, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's going to be fine. But we're going to see. I think it's more so play calling with me when it comes to those type of things, like with Buffalo. I just think Daboll put Josh Allen in good situations, and he knew how to call play, just like how he made Daniel Jones look viable last year.
He got him a new contract.
Exactly. He made him look viable, and we know Daniel Jones is nowhere near Josh Allen. Not even close. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see this OC and how he calls plays. And is it better? Is it worse? Is it the same? Does the offense stay the same? And they're still putting up points and being very competitive. And does Jalen Hurts have another MVP type season? That's going to be interesting to see. And by this time, we'll know our answers. By this game, we'll know what's going on with the Eagles.
AJ Brown and Smith, they got all the talent. It's all there, but it's hard. I mean, it's already hard enough as it is to be able to get back to that promised land. But especially on the new OC and DC, that's just interesting to me. I expect a good thing.
No, it definitely is a new dynamic with that offense. I mean, all the pieces are still there, but it's a new play caller.
And we're talking about the Eagles. They have a harder schedule, so you never know how that's going to contribute to that too.
How will they respond to that? Yeah,
that's why I say by this time we'll know.
Yeah,
if the Eagles are a really a good team, and was last year a fluke, just one of them 1 year. They just got lucky off of beating bad teams last year, or are they really a good, very, good team that can be Super Bowl contenders? And by this game, we'll know something. So,
yep.
Next up,
bye week.
We are going to the Chiefs will be coming out here to Vegas, Allegiant Stadium, to face the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, hopefully, I can go to this game. I plan on going to this game. I'm gonna bring shout out to my boy Jamal. I plan on bringing him to the game so I can watch him cry while our Chiefs dismantle his Raiders. Now, according to him, he's going to be happy by the time because he feels like they're going to be trash this year. He wants to tank for Caleb Williams, so It is whatever.
If Washington don't get to him first.
I think he's going to Arizona personally.
Right.
Arizona.
I do too. I think Kyler Murray's getting flipped to Atlanta.
He's going to get traded. So
can I make a bold prediction about this game? Or just a side note.
Go ahead.
I think this is the game where it's going to be determined if McDaniel still has a job or not. I really do, because here's my take on this. If McDaniels has a bad record, which they're on track, most likely they will, and then they get blown out at home to Kansas City again, I don't see him finishing out the rest of the season. He'll probably be the first coach fired. I just don't see it.
I like that. I definitely think McDaniels is on the hot seat this year. I thought he should have been fired last year, to be honest with you. I haven't seen him do anything as a head coach with Denver.
I mean, the only pass he gave, he
with
wasn't
Vegas
Hackett.
to make me think
he wasn't Hackett, man.
But Hackett, yeah, exactly.
When he was with Denver,
he was close.
When he was with Denver, he was cheating. He was spying on people.
Yep.
He got fired. He thought he was Belichick. That's the problem with Belichick type coaches. They think they Belichick, and you're not. You're just not, man. You're not. You're just not.
That's true. That's all.
We've seen it with Matt Patricia. We've seen it with any coach to come out of New England. There's only been a few successful ones.
Anybody that come under that tree for that fact. You think about it.
Yeah.
And now they trying to turn the Las Vegas to the Las Vegas Patriots because they didn't got everybody from the Patriots over there.
They got
Jacoby
Myers.
Jacoby Myers.
The only thing that worked out again for him was the fact
that Brian Hoyer is the backup.
That's bad.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer is their backup. Like they just want everything Patriots over there.
Isn't it funny how everybody always try to duplicate what somebody else do in a system without realizing that you had to have that guy, Tom Brady. Just saying.
Yeah.
And he about to be a partial owner.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yep.
You might want to see if he can put the uniform on so he can play for y'all.
Well, that's the good thing. If he's a part of ownership, I think that means that he can't play anymore. So hopefully he buys a piece of the Raiders. That's fine with me.
I mean, he already got a piece of the Las Vegas Aces, so I mean,
makes sense.
Looks like he's making a home out here in Vegas.
It makes sense.
He's probably gonna have.
He might be buying part of the A's.
He gonna buy the NBA team when LeBron brings them out here. So
right.
It is what it is, man. But yeah, I expect us to beat the Raiders.
But it don't necessarily mean he'll be successful. Michael Jordan. Great career.
Yeah.
Mike is just a terrible player evaluator. Like he just
yeah, he is.
I don't know what Mike be doing, man. Like he be picking anything.
He drafted Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
Can you shoot? Come on, man. You come play for me, man.
I still think the funniest thing when he bust that dude upside the head in the middle of the game, that was funny.
But I expect us to beat the Raiders.
Yeah, termination game.
Then
the pink slip game.
He said termination.
We got Sunday night football against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Now, depending on how the Packers are around this time, I wouldn't be surprised if this game gets flexed out.
No. Yeah.
If the Packers are bad this season and Jordan Love looks like a bum, man, I don't expect this game to be a primetime game. I expect it to be flexed out. And we'll be playing the 325 game, fellas.
Yeah.
But if Jordan Love looks like a superstar, then it's business as usual. Sunday night football, Jordan Love versus Patrick Mahomes.
All the Packers got to do is tread around 500. That's it.
Yeah, true. And they can get to the playoffs.
I mean, I'm looking at week 13? I'm kind of looking at some of the potential flex. Jeez, week 13 is pretty bad. With exception of the 49ers and Eagles, but that's a 1:00 game. They ain't changing that.
They might.
No, that's gonna be stuck. That's gonna be stuck. That's a Fox ain't gonna lose that game. 49ers and Eagles.
Yeah, Fox is not giving that up. They'll protect that game. But the thing with Jordan Love, we don't know what we're gonna get. This could Packers team, to me, they could be a lot better than last year. think you got all those young receivers. Now you're pairing them with the young quarterback. They can grow together. LaFleur's still calling plays, so I don't expect the offense to be terrible or anything like that. You still got the running backs, right? You still got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So you can lean on that a little bit more now that Rodgers is gone. So they definitely I don't think that they'll be that bad. I'll be honest with you. I think, like DJ said, if they stay around 500, they're going to be in playoff contention. So,
hey, read the look at it working.
Yeah, most definitely. I could concur with that, fellas. I could definitely see that.
and we got the Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
Now that's a game that could be flexed tonight.
Yeah,
I know you were saying about the 7 games.
it could be picked. Like I would say this, they could do what
CBS.
they could do what they did last year because they could pick and choose. Okay, do we want to flex out the Bengals game or the Buffalo game?
Right.
And they could be like, you guys could have the Buffalo game. We're keeping that New Year's Eve game.
Yeah.
So
and that's even a question mark too, because like I said, if stuff is locked up by then, ain't nobody playing their stars, stuff like that. Yeah. And even I'm even looking at week 13 now. I don't see. I mean, just assuming there ain't really too many good games to flex. I mean, the only one maybe the Lions and the Saints, assuming the Saints are actually good.
Yeah, true.
I mean, who want to see the Falcons and the Jets or the Broncos and the Texans? The Browns and the Rams. My goodness.
Oh God.
These sound terrible.
That game might be staying no matter what.
I miss football so much. You could put the Browns and Rams on right now. I'd watch it, but
I mean, only
13.
And even so, with the Titans, I mean, they drafted that your boy, right from
Levis.
I mean,
they even showing videos of him throwing no looks.
If he does take over the starting range, you could possibly get that game in week 13. The Colts and the Titans, maybe, but I don't see that being flexed out. Now that I'm looking at week 13.
Yeah,
man, that's almost as bad as some of the Thursday night football games was getting last year. Yikes!
Yeah, Thursday night is always bad.
It is. They start out with a good game, and then it just goes down after
it
that.
goes downhill after that.
Well, if it make you feel better, they got the Hawks and the Cowboys that week, so that kind of cancels out.
Seahawks and who? Cowgirls?
Yeah. Oh. And then you got the Bengals and Jaguars Monday night, which is cool.
That's a good game. That would be a good game.
Hopefully.
On paper.
Hopefully Jacksonville wins that game.
Yeah. Hopefully all this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping all ACLs are still intact from key players. I mean, you want it from all players, period. But I'm just saying.
So, but all right, let's talk about this week 14 Buffalo game. Buffalo's gonna put all their eggs in the basket because this is gonna be their Super Bowl.
This is going to be a very interesting game because obviously, you're going to have the rivalry between Mahomes and that other guy. But this is where it honestly starts to get really tricky. And, I was talking about that stretch that the Buffalo Bills had because I'm going to pull up their schedule from, and let me tell you from the stretch that they have. I ain't going to acknowledge that because we don't know what we getting with the Broncos, so forget about that. So they have a stretch where they played the Jets, obviously with Aaron Rodgers. Then you play the Eagles. Then you play the Chiefs, back to back. Then you play the Cowboys the following week,
right?
And then you play we don't know we're going to get Chargers. So we're in the middle of their rough stretch,
right?
Yep.
So that's going to be very interesting. But I expect that, obviously we expect for the Chiefs to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying Buffalo, that's going to be a very tough stretch for them to get through.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's like
Chris said, this is their Super Bowl, this game against us, because we seen it last year. What was it, like week 6, week 5, something like that? The Chiefs or the Bills came here. And they won that game, and everybody was talking about all year year. The Bills are going to win the Super Bowl from opening night. That's what I heard. And I was like, pump the brakes. It's way too soon to be talking about the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. A lot can happen between now and then, and a lot happened for them in that period. And I expect the same thing here. If the Chiefs do lose this game, everybody will be saying the Bills are the team to take out in the AFC. So
let's just put this in perspective for what it really is. The Bills, that stretch alone right there is like a mini stretch of what the Chiefs had to go through at the beginning last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then to add a little bit to that, we had players that were out on that Buffalo game.
Yep. Secondary player. There was a corner out. I can't remember. McDuffie. That's who it was.
Was out. And I think Willie Gay was out.
Was suspended. Yeah.
Yep.
So and they basically lost that game in similar fashion like the other 3 games, whatever you want to say it. A turnover, and a special teams miscue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But
and Von Miller had the game of his life too.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He balled out. He really did. He balled out. But I expect us to beat the Buffalo Bills this year. That's right. I'm calling it. Because, like I said, I think they're taking a step back.
I just think that's going to be the stretch where we're not even talking about the Bills fans wouldn't even talk the Super Bowl. That's going to be one of those games where I think that they're playing for their playoff lives. That's what I think.
Yep. Backs against the wall.
Exactly.
That's why, that's probably a loose to your point and everything about taking a step back. That is not an easy task.
Mm-mm.
Then they're putting us on Monday Night Football to play the Patriots. So
I didn't realize this was a Monday night game. What
I
are
did.
they doing?
I did. And I got a feeling that's going to be one of them games that's going to be made close.
Yeah, it's going to be close because Belichick's defense is going to come and play. Mac Jones is going to play out his damn mind.
Week before Christmas, or cold winter game,
or Bailey Zappi, or whoever the hell the quarterback is by that time.
It's going to be like 20 degrees out there.
Week before Christmas, yeah.
I don't know. I just got it's going to be a game that I think is going to be close. It's going to be one of those games I think that's going to piss us all off. That's
it's
what
going to be one of them ugly games.
One of those games where we should be blowing them out by like 20, and then we're asking.
And we're going to win 17-13.
Yeah, some ugly score like that.
20-17.
Yep.
It's going to be a frustrating game because Andy Reid refuses to run the football. He throws it 87 times. Isaiah Pacheco.
I hope not, because by December we better have that running. Like this is the time of the year you better have it going.
Isaiah Pacheco's gonna have like 2 carries and 5 yards.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
don't put that on me.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you're playing in New England in December. It's gonna be one of those weird games where it's like unusually wind blowing 40 miles an hour. 20 degrees, wind chill, it's -6.
Andy Reid is still throwing the football, baby. Woo!
43 times.
Right.
87 times.
87 times.
One of those games.
Pat got it. He good.
But looking at New England this year, I don't expect them to be. They should be at the bottom of that division unless the Jets or one of those teams just really severely disappoints.
Yeah. They should be the worst.
Even with the Bills taking a step back, I would have them probably at the lowest third. And it's New England for me.
Yeah.
I hope them fans turn against Belichick and say, "It's like, we tired of your old self, retire." That's the only sign I want to see in the stands.
They'll never do that.
They won't, but that's the reality of the shit. It's kind of like the Popovich of the NFL. It's like the Popovich in the NFL. You can't boo him because of what he's done, but
he's got too much credit. He got too much built up credit in the bank. He's got too much built up credit in the bank, man. It is what it is.
Right.
All right, so then we get to unwrap a Christmas gift of ass whoopings on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Holiday Massacre.
Yes, sir. A little scrimmage before we have to play a real game.
They'll have their new coach. They'll have their new interim bought in. Who is their assistant coaches?
By that time, Jimmy G will be on IR.
Yep.
Too many porn
It'll be
stars.
Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham.
Too many porn stars and models is going to be on IR. So let me stop messing with y'all. But no, he's on.
He's gonna be hurt.
He's gonna be
by
hurt.
this time.
He's gonna be hurt. He's gonna be hurt. But no,
He playing a cold game at Arrowhead on Christmas.
I expect us to beat the Raiders on Christmas.
It's gonna be the interim
Smoke.
game.
We're gonna smoke them. That's gonna be a smoke session.
It is a smoke session.
We're gonna be all sitting back, enjoying it.
You get the pink slip game and the
enjoying
interim
our
game.
Christmas.
Here we go. Week 17, the belly of the beast.
Game we're all been waiting for.
Game that I'm circling, baby. Let's go. Cincinnati Bengals is coming to Arrowhead. If it ain't
faded out by then,
yeah, you're right.
It's just. I'm. That's the only thing that makes me mad about it. Like, yeah, we look forward to seeing the Bengals, but week 17 there is no guarantees. I mean, I would say if the Ravens still had that question mark scenario where we didn't know who their quarterback was, and because then you could arguably say that they should run the table, but that AFC North is going to be tough because Pittsburgh, as long as Tomlin is hanging around there,
they had a really good draft. They might have had the best draft. So
they're my surprise team in the AFC this year.
Yeah, they should get the. I mean, that's one of them teams where I could see them getting the 7th spot and sliding in. I mean, I can say
about Pittsburgh, that's the biggest question mark would be that offensive line. If that's good this year, they will be good.
They just started out slow last year. That's what hurt them. Because I said, I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, watch this team turn it on.
They started Trubisky.
Yeah, that's a curse in itself. But even so, it's just I knew Tomlin was not going to finish below 500 because he still got that streak that will not go away.
It will never end.
That's the only thing, that was the only thing that separated them from getting into the playoffs. They just started out, they came out too late. It was too late.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they could be that 7 seed. I mean, the 1 through 6, we can almost call that. But I mean,
it's like that last seed's up in the air.
I mean, on paper, I mean, we could assume that, and this is just my own personal assumption, that the Bengals probably might lose 3 or 4 games. But in that division, I don't know because
they struggle against the Browns. They struggle against. I mean, the Browns are 8-2 against them in the last 10.
They struggle with the Ravens too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
Lamar Jackson plays.
And the Steelers stole one last year. So
that's what I'm saying. It's just the AFC North. That's the division where I probably had the most. I mean, outside the East, you can talk about any order, but in the North, you have question marks as far as like how Lamar Jackson. I mean, this is a proven year for him. I mean, granted, he got his money and he got all that stuff. Good for him, and how that's going to translate with his new weapons and stuff. With OBJ, is he going to come back the same? Obviously, they drafted a great prospect, which we wanted, but that was a reach for us. And even so, we can go down, even all the way down to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, he was coming off a year where he ain't played in ages.
He's coming. He had a lot of stuff going on in the offseason. So
he did.
I mean, that could be another situation where it's like almost like in the quarterback, like it's almost like when Frank Clark was going through some of the challenges that he was that year. It could be the same thing with Deshaun Watson. It could be the very same thing.
No, I expect the Browns and Deshaun Watson to return back with a vengeance. Like
me too, because
and
they got
better.
And
they got weapons on offense and they got better on defense. They got Zadarius Smith, Miles getting there. They got a squad over. You got Juan Thornhill, back there doing his thing. Yeah, nice little squad. Got the corners. They got a squad over there. So watch out for the Browns. Watch out. That division is going to beat on each other.
That might be the toughest division in football. It might be.
It is the toughest. To me, it's the toughest.
That and the AFC. Yeah, I agree with that, Chris, because the AFC East, like we're saying with the Patriots, they should. I think the AFC North 1 through 4, all those teams are good.
Like you wouldn't be surprised if any one of those teams won that division.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
They got Nick Chubb back there.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers won because of Mike Tomlin, what his pedigree is. And I think Kenny Pickett takes a step forward. They got the weapons with Deontay Johnson and George Pickens. You got now Darnell Washington
Yeah,
with
Pat
Pat
Fireman.
Fireman, like they and Najee Harris in the backfield, like they are, and then defense is always gonna be that defense, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they gonna be fine on defense. So yeah, I wouldn't
As
be
long as the
surprised.
TJ Watt can stay healthy.
Healthy. I mean, that's always the question with TJ Watt. Is his health. He's like his brother.
With the Watt, with that last name,
They just
that's the question.
they're fragile, man. They get broken, man. The Bosas and the Watts. They just I don't know. They can't stay healthy.
They always get hurt.
Yeah, so but I wouldn't be surprised if any one of those teams win that division. Even the Browns. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
if Deshaun Watson returns back to Deshaun Watson, watch out.
It's a wide.
If he returns back to Deshaun Watson, they probably should win that division because they got the better defense than Cincinnati does.
Yeah, they do. Even
When
though
we talk about slowing down a team, I don't think they could slow down a Deshaun Watson that we've seen in the past in Houston.
Even though I do like the Miles Murphy pickup from the Bengals.
I do, yeah.
He's going to be good on their defensive line for him and Hendrickson.
Yeah.
They're going to be all right.
Because did Hubbard walk this offseason, or they still got him in the mix?
I think they still there. I think he's still there.
So you got some rotations now you can do.
That's going to be a defense that just beats up on or defense. That's going to be a division where they beat up on each other, and that actually works in favor for a team like the Chiefs.
Even the team that wins that division is probably not walking out with more than 12 wins.
Yeah. Because I think our division is just, I don't know. I think the Raiders are going to be bad.
I think it's us.
Even Vegas think they're going to be
Chargers,
bad.
Denver, and then the Raiders way in the basement. They're down there.
The only team that I could see could surprise everybody is the Broncos. If Russell Wilson gets his stuff together, because he got the weapons. You got
the coaching now.
You got the coach now. You got no excuse. You're getting Javonte Williams back. That defense is always going to be that defense. I don't know. They just add a defensive coordinator over there, and the defense is still good. So that's the team that can make some noise if Russell Wilson can return back to a competent quarterback.
It's going to be difficult. I mean, you're just looking. I mean, just kind of getting a breakdown, kind of see who and what we expect. I mean, just based off of what I'm seeing here, I expect 2 to come out the West.
Yeah,
one to come out the South again. Man, that AFC North and the AFC East.
Unless Anthony Richardson just blows up with the Colts.
I don't expect him to this year. I think he has a solid rookie season, but I don't expect to see everything that. But we don't get to see his potential fully this year. I think that's more down the road. But I do like what Indy did. I really do. This offseason, I was shocked. I think that was Ballard knowing that, hey, this is if I don't, start doing something aggressively here, this is probably it for me. So
yeah.
But that South is a trash division, though. Man.
It is.
Because it's bad enough you got to face. I mean, any team in the AFC South, you're facing your own division, but they have the luxury of playing the NFC South, who ain't that good either.
Yeah,
they're basically in a
those
rebuild.
Are two worst divisions.
So you could have maybe 2 surprising teams come out of that. I don't expect 2. I don't expect 1.
I think Atlanta could be the surprise team out of the NFC this year because when you talk about what they added in the draft, obviously I'm not big on drafting a running back in the first round, but it makes sense for them because of the way their offense is set up. That is a run-first offense, takes pressure off the young quarterback. They got weapons. They just need to find out how to use them. I don't understand why Kyle Pitts cannot be used. How hard is it to use a tight end that can run any route that has that speed and athleticism? I think I could draw up plays for him to get him 100 yards a game. I mean, this is terrible.
I mean, South, you just basically
take some plays from Madden.
Yeah, for real. Let's just run some. Get him the ball.
You're just shooting out a blank dartboard. Anybody?
Ass Madden. Just push ass Madden.
we sitting here, we talking about how tough it is as far as when the AFC North. That's why, teams like the Jets who are on the fringe, it's a concern.
Yep.
because it's not like you can get two teams that can come out with three teams. I mean, for what happened in the NFC East, that's not normal. We weren't expecting three teams to come out the East at all by any means.
Yeah,
and I definitely don't see that happening, but it could. Who knows? I mean, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland, and then you got Buffalo. I mean, one of them teams ain't getting in. Who knows what would happen? What would it look like if only one team came out the East? How disappointing would that be to them?
The AFC
That would
East?
be like
The AFC
basically
East.
That would mean
like the
that,
AFC West last year.
that would mean that either Buffalo took a huge step back, like they just
Off the
had a
cliff.
terrible.
Completely missed the mark.
The Max Kellerman cliff we've been waiting for.
Like they had a terrible season. Miami had a terrible season, or whatever. The Jets had a terrible season, and Buffalo is just far and ahead of everybody. It's just ridiculous.
If that happens, I guarantee you that one team will not be New England.
Nah, it's not.
I mean,
Mac Jones would have to be like playing that
MVP candidate. Yeah.
I mean, learning from last year, we really can't rule that out because we were expecting that out of the AFC West.
Yep.
And then
they were talking about all four teams making it.
Yeah.
Including the Raiders.
And we had it wrapped up by Thanksgiving, baby. Woo!
It could be the case in the East or the North. It could be. I don't know. I mean, I believe it more so happening in the East than I do see in the North, though, because just the North, they just
tough teams, man.
Now that we talk about this, who do you guys feel like is the biggest threat?
The Chiefs.
I mean,
the biggest threat too.
Outside the Chiefs, who is the biggest threat in the AFC?
I'm still gonna say Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, they still got Joe Burrow. They still got Jamar Chase. They still got T. Higgins. Joe Mixon is still going to be running the football over there. So it's Cincinnati for now.
It has to be Cincinnati. And the reason why I say that is because not only just because of team structure, but that coach over there makes some of the best adjustments from half to half than any other team out there right now. And the Chiefs, for them to finally figure it out this past postseason and everything, it's not an easy thing to do at all.
No.
I mean, and even so what Cincinnati had done, they had that one time when they got blown out on Monday night to the Turds.
Browns. God,
on Halloween too.
Halloween. But get this though, they had only lost like one game prior to the Chiefs though without Jamar Chase. And that is scary because just that coach, they just know how to make adjustments. And not everybody has the capacity to do that. And just that coach is there for what he can do and what he is, though.
It's like he'll scrap a game plan at halftime and come up with a new one completely.
But that's exactly what he had been doing. He did that to the Chiefs, obviously, to get to the Super Bowl, and I respect that. No matter how much you can hate, the fan base and all that stuff, what they do and stuff like that, and they can throw out the 1-3 now and stuff like that, but you can't knock their coaching adjustments. You can't. They do what they got to do. At least they can got people on the other side. I mean, I don't expect it from the Ravens. The Ravens were that close to knocking them out, but we all know what happened.
Y'all ready for this? If this team, because I think we figured out the Bengals, if this team can put it all together, the Jets are the biggest.
Oh no, he did not just say that. Oh my goodness!
If they can put it all together, the Jets are the biggest threat in the AFC to us.
You're putting a lot of trust in regular season Rodgers.
Not even just him, because I'll tell you why. I love their defense. I will say that. I like their defense. Too. I like that kid Sauce Gardner. I like that kid their defensive tackle. I like how they are collectively as defense. Yeah. I like that their defense collectively. Even with the weapons that they have as far as with
Wilson, David.
I do like it.
Miko.
But the backfield.
But I cannot trust
Breece Hall.
Yeah, Breece Hall. He was doing his thing until he got hurt. He was doing his thing. And Rodgers, during the regular season, he going to. I just cannot trust postseason Rodgers. I can't.
Me either.
They just needed They just needed you to go out there and play quarterback, man, and they would have made the playoffs. Zach Wilson, whatever his name is, he's gonna be XFL star in a minute. But
dang, that's even a high standard.
Yeah, I don't know about star. He's gonna be an
he on that. He right now he on track to be in a Ryan Leaf status. I mean, minus the drugs, hopefully. But I would say this. I mean,
he can't throw it 5 yards down the field. That's all he needed.
It's that and the argument though. We've been talking about this too. About the success of defensive-minded coaches.
I hear you.
It's tough.
I hear you.
It is.
Aaron Rodgers.
You have to have a really good play caller, and I don't know that they have that.
If Aaron Rodgers can go out there and put out an MVP season, the Jets are going to be scary. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, if he does that, they're going to be scary until the playoffs roll around and they score 10 points. They lose 16-10. Rodgers has the ball last, and he throws some ball in the dirt.
He's going to throw a game winner to Garrett Wilson, baby.
Nope. He's going to throw it to the fan.
No, he's going to come to the AFC Invitational in Arrowhead and get blown out. You're right. It's going to happen against the Chiefs.
Yeah, Mecole Hardman.
As long as it happens against us.
Yeah, Mecole Hardman going to break the regular season receiving record this year with Rodgers. That's just where I'm at.
4, probably.
That's just where I'm at.
3. I was 3.
I can't. No, we all know that. We know that's a tall expectation anyway. We all know that.
Whoa.
But
relax.
Man, I just have several.
I predict that Justin Ross has more yards than Mecole Hardman before that happens, man.
Right. Too.
They got a lot of people to throw the ball to over there. Alan Lazard, you got Wilson, you got
Randall Cobb.
I
don't know why they brought him in, but he could be wide receiver 6 or something. But
that was a waste. But
keep Aaron Rodgers company. He needs somebody his age to talk to.
Right. But it's like
talk to them kids.
Sure. But even so, you can make the argument though in the comparison stuff like that. We know why. It's like with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, we know why Tom Brady brought Gronk over because he was Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, he always showed up.
And we understand that he has, his people that he can trust, but Aaron Rodgers, I cannot trust that. I cannot.
I don't trust him in the playoffs. Trust him in the regular season. He shows up in the regular season. He just don't show up in the playoffs when it really counts.
I just can't.
And in the last 4 or 5 seasons.
I'm just one of them people where it's like, in the
last 4 to 5. I gotta put that disclaimer out there,
right? It's just what
prior to that,
prior to that, it wasn't his fault, but now lately it's been his fault.
It's like he'll take the seat at the table, and to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, okay, where's the first seat? That's just how Aaron Rodgers is. And it's just crazy though, because even so, you can talk about all these other quarterbacks and stuff like that, and how they're able to be reliable and stuff like that, and trust their core. I just don't see that unless Aaron Rodgers can show me he can do that. If he's given the opportunity.
The thing about it is this: look, Patrick Mahomes is just a different breed of kid. He is. He grew up in locker rooms with his dad, so he saw it firsthand how to handle stuff. And hey, kudos to his pops. His pops taught him the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For him to and look, not to say to Mahomes, when he get on that field, he's a different animal. He wants to rip your heart out.
Yeah, he does.
Listen, he don't want to play with you. He wants to rip your heart out.
As we've seen in the past with he's counting his fingers. He's getting at it with Max Crosby.
But even so,
rip your heart. But also the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes is that Patrick Mahomes has Aaron Rodgers ability, but he has a Tom Brady mindset of
he do.
I want to win, and I'm gonna do it. If my contract has to be laden to where I can get Chris Jones paid, I want to leave some money for whoever. If I got to get my receivers paid, we got to bring as much weapons up in there. I don't care about all that. We got to win with weapons because show me the team in history that didn't have weapons and great quarterbacks and great coaches. Like, that's who wins Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Not bums, not, every now and then a team backdoors into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But most,
The Bengals.
but in history, all the great teams were coached by great coaches with great quarterbacks with great weapons on both sides of the football.
Yeah.
Them 49er teams, even the Vince Lombardi Green Bay teams, they had nothing but Hall of Famers on their squad.
But what about Rodgers? Okay, so
but even so, if we even take out Mahomes,
the last 4 to 5 seasons, he had great weapons. He had Devontae Adams. He had Aaron Jones. MVS, who had 100 and something yards in the AFC Championship game, was there. He ignored him.
But here's my
I said the last 4 to 5 seasons, you got
it.
You're right.
And even so, here's my counter to that. And even so, to add insult to, well, maybe not insult to injury and stuff like that.
Aaron Rodgers is a cooler Drew Brees. That's what he is. He's cooler Drew Brees. Okay, I said it. You happy? Yeah,
I'm wrapping my mind around it too because even so, Drew Brees should have had more, but they just blew it.
Yeah.
And same with
the Saints supposed to win it and they lose now. One of them they got cheated.
They got hosed out of that one.
and you can say the same thing about the whole Manning era. He just ran into a juggernaut that instead of just scoring 30 points, they put up 45 points.
It wasn't just Tom Brady. It was a lot of times when Peyton Manning was choking. He was choking.
I don't remember those times, but
he was choking.
Well,
there was some times where they was 13-3, the number 1 seed. They get the bye week and they play the Chargers and get smoked.
They would just go head to head with the wrong animal.
They would get smoked.
But even so,
they didn't have a great coach.
But even so, that's what
said it.
Don't you do that to Tony Dungy. Tony
Dungy is a good coach, and I got a lot of respect for him.
They just put out a list the other day of the top 10 great coaches in 2000, and guess who was on their list? Tony Dungy.
I like Dungy personally.
Tony Dungy built that defense in Tampa Bay. That's why John Gruden got a damn Super Bowl. Not because he did something, because he took Tony Dungy's defense and won the damn Super Bowl.
He got Mark Jackson. Let's just call it for what it is.
Exactly.
He did, yeah.
But even so, we're talking about, we should compare them
for the cover 2, man. He invented a defense that still played to this day. It's the defense that stopped us. That stopped the whole Legion of Zoom. Was the cover 2. It was a defense that he created. So,
but even so, here's my thought process behind it, though. This whole quarterback situation, and it's crazy though because I don't think Burrow gets as much. He don't get criticized or is given as much pressure as to a Mahomes or Josh Allen. Let's just be real.
Who?
Burrow.
Oh,
because he has arguably the best weapons in the league. He's had it, and he's done it
his whole career
consistently. And the crazy part about it was we can talk about the last 2 years and how he's gotten it done, but the fact that he came off of a torn ACL and all that stuff, and he's completely shown out and done what he does. I mean, that's why I say even with the Bengals, their window is not narrow than any other teams, because when after this year, they're gonna have to pay Chase.
Yeah.
They had to start thinking about paying Higgins. I'm like, how in the world are they going to be able to muscle? I mean, unless we're about to find out if Chris theory is right as far as the salary cap being this pie in the sky theory made up thing. I just don't see that happening. So their window is so narrow.
I mean, we would have Tyreek Hill on this team still if the salary cap wasn't real.
Well, we about to pay him. He just wanted more money than we willing to pay him.
Yeah,
like, it had nothing to do with the salary cap. It just had to do with our budget. Look, man, we can pay you $25.
Yeah, our budget based off the salary cap. Yeah,
$25 million. We could pay you 30.
Salary cap. I give him $50 million a year, but we can't do that.
It's about it.
But the difference is
how many times have we heard teams, they in the red. And then they say, they signed it out. The Rams was in the Rams for years, and they signed it. I'm like,
And now look at them. Now they're
Saints.
finally paying it though.
The
how
Saints.
how the hell they paying this dude?
The
They ain't gonna be in
Saints.
the Rams. The
Because
Saints too.
You
They-
can
they-
keep
they
kicking
so-
it
they-
down the road, but
They so
eventually
far
you
in the
have to
red
pay,
is
and
purple.
the Rams are paying now. The Saints paid. The Saints are paying now. Look at those teams.
Hey, but they want
Yeah, you could do that. You can keep
At
kicking
least,
it
at
down
least
the
the
road.
Rams
but
got a ring to
eventually-
show for it. If you
Because
show
they
up with
want-
no ring,
Exactly.
They was worth
making
it.
all those, I don't
Yeah.
get it.
You pay for a ring anytime.
I'm glad that the Chiefs didn't go down that road because
Yep.
Yeah, but didn't.
they
Go all in for one or 2 years.
the Chiefs pretty much zigged when everybody was zagging. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's doing it the Rams way. Buffalo did it the Rams way. They went out and paid Von Miller all that money. Most teams, even the Jets, you can say the Jets did that with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
A lot of teams'
The only
philosophy
team that
is
other would
what? When they're close,
pay
when
'em.
they're right there and they got all these pieces around them, let me go get
Add more.
I'm gonna go get this quarterback. I'm gonna go get these wide receivers. I'm gonna go get this defensive end. Like they just want to get that Super Bowl right then and there. They don't care about getting championships. Let's get this one.
That's what Tampa did.
Yeah.
Whereas in Kansas City, it's like, nah, we want to get a few of these things over here. So we're gonna change it up a little bit. If we got to get rid of Tyreek Hill, fine. Let's get some pieces. Let's add more to this defense. Let's add a couple more pieces on this offense. And as long as we got 15 is willing to work with these guys. He's not he's humble enough to be like,
He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. He's gonna come into the offseason and be like, you're my wide receivers. Come down to Texas. Let's work. Let's get it. I need to get chemistry with you guys. So let's
And it
go.
doesn't matter if it's Amir Smith-Marset, who's probably not making the roster down there, but he's got everybody down there. It doesn't matter who you are. He's kicking it with you no matter what.
Because you never know. Amir, he might make it. He might make it. He might show something.
He might get called up from the practice squad
He might
sometime,
show
like
something
Marcus
in
Kemp
training camp.
did.
Yeah, he might show something in training camp.
Yeah.
He might show something in preseason. You never know. But still, the
Chiefs understand the principle of working inside out.
Yeah.
As far as investing that money, as far as the O-line, you got to protect your quarterback, and they've proven that theory that they could beat anybody and become the champions, even with a average. People want to say average roster. I mean, you can make that argument,
and
I'm okay with it.
And John Dorsey, when he was here, he was a great talent evaluator. He was just horrible with the cap.
Yep.
He was terrible. He signed.
He would pay
players
everybody.
Too late. He would, but he would pay him too late, a year too
Past
late.
their prime. Past their prime.
Like you should have paid him last year, man. When it was a little cheaper.
Or you should have, or they pay the wrong guys and just completely pay the wrong guy and let somebody else walk.
Yeah, he was a good talent evaluator as far as young talent and stuff like that.
Drafting.
He was just bad against the draft. I mean, bad against the salary cap. Veach, on the other hand, he's showing he could do both, and he's good with the cap. And one thing about Veach is he's a shrewd operator. Look, this is our number.
Yep.
And if you don't like this number, guess what? We'll find you somebody else.
Later.
Teams are trying to, but teams are trying to duplicate what the Chiefs are doing. I mean, there's no smoke behind it. They're trying to duplicate it, but the problem is that you cannot duplicate the combination of having a Mahomes at the quarterback with Andy Reid at the head coach with a GM like Veach. You can't duplicate that. Howie Roseman got close. Let's just be honest. He's probably the closest thing.
But the thing about it is, what you can't duplicate is a quarterback with the mindset of, I don't have to be the highest paid player.
Yep.
Right.
Like, that's hard. Joe Burrows. Will we be mad if Joe Burrows wants to be the highest paid player? No, I'm not mad at you. Go get your money, man. You know what I'm saying? That's for the team to figure out how to get more players.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's the team to figure out. That's for the GMs and all them front office people to
how
figure
to build
out
the team.
How to build a team around me with my contract. Yep. That's your job. But
that's what you get paid for. I get paid to play.
Right. But Patrick Mahomes is like, no, I see how Tom did it. You know what I'm saying? Tom for years took a pay cut. Now it worked. It helps when you got a supermodel wife making all that money. You know what I'm saying? But still, and I also think that Robert Kraft was paying him a little bit under the table.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was.
And Mahomes getting the endorsements, all that stuff. So he clearly ain't.
Yeah. And he said it in the
Yeah.
press
He's
conference.
got
He
his
said it.
shoes and
He said it. He said, I've made enough money. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Now, do I think the Chiefs are going to give him a raise? Of course. He deserves it. He won a Super Bowl.
Now you made enough money. Now you can throw a bone over here to the podcast and everything. We'll help you spend some of that money. I'm just saying.
yeah.
I endorse whatever heck you want. You want me to endorse your kids and your dog? Just throw me a bone. I'm good. I got you.
100,000, baby. Just give me 100,000 over in this pod.
Right.
That's all I want too. Hey.
I'll wear a Heinz tomato
Everywhere.
ketchup. I'll put it on the car and everything and not care.
We'll be eating steak. We'll be eating steak and ketchup every pod, baby.
Right. But it's just, everybody's trying to duplicate what the Chiefs have, whether it be a play call and everything or whatnot. I mean, that's
why. That's the history of the league.
It's a copycat league, but the problem is that they don't have an Andy Reid that's always 2 steps ahead.
True.
Yeah, or Brett Veach that's always 2 steps ahead.
Because
or even Travis Kelce, or
even so, me and my pops
always 2 steps ahead.
Even so, me and my pops was talking about this over the weekend. Is that even in the earlier stages of Andy Reid's coaching career and everything, how much he loved the screen so much. And then here I am, 2022, even 2021. I'm sitting there, where's the screen game at? It's like one of those things that he rarely calls and doesn't call as much because he's always on the next play. You know, he'll do that crazy inside pitch, or he'll give me a heart attack with one of them plays that absolutely makes no sense on the goal line to do. I'm like, can we just do something basic? But, that's why Andy Reid get paid the big bucks.
That's
Andy Reid is Coach Klein, man. He got several hundred plays dialed up.
His playbook is probably, really.
It's 6 Bibles. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I believe it. I mean, he called plays like corn dog and snow globe, and you should.
It's like, where do you come up with this? And
you should have gone through Madden. You should have gone through the Madden. Like, what the heck is this play at? But just come to show the kind of person that he is.
Damn well Andy Reid ain't putting none of his plays on Madden.
And then he started doing all the motions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then now the whole league does it. I mean,
jet sweeps.
If you're not motioning, all that stuff.
Well, where Andy Reid adapted his style is he took a lot of that college incorporated plays and he added it to the game because that's where the game was going. It was a more spread you out 3 to 4 wide receivers, running down the field, pretty much. So he adapted his style.
We seen air raid. We seen all of it.
Air raid is pretty much in the league now. You know what I'm saying? That's why the air raid is more successful now. Whereas back in the day, the air raid wasn't successful because it was a more smash mouth, more game. It's run the football, be more of a game manager, play action pass type.
It was more of a physical game.
Yeah, it was more physical. And, the defenses can do a lot more. There wasn't, you could press. You can put your hand on the receiver. Nowadays, you can't breathe on a receiver without getting a flag. So
exactly.
You can't hit a quarterback nowadays without getting a flag. You know what I'm saying? A regular hit nowadays. So it's a lot different game. And like I said, it's more spread out. That's why it's hard to find great corners nowadays. Like a Sauce Gardner, it's hard to find that guy.
That's rare. Tariq Woolen.
Yeah, you can't. You bump into those dudes. Like nobody saw Tariq Woolen. You saw Sauce. For every Sauce, there's a Tariq Woolen. It pops up in the 4th or 5th round, and it's like, oh, this guy's actually really good. L'Jarius Sneed, a 4th round pick. You know we was getting in L'Jarius Sneed. He's a baller.
That's why I like the pick they got this year in the 4th round. They went with another DB who reminds me of Snead a lot. When you watch the tape, it's like, okay, he's playing safety, he's playing nickel, he's blitzing, he's playing in the box, like he's playing all over the place.
Yeah, I like that pick. That might be the underrated sneaky pick right there.
Yeah,
out of all of our draft picks, that might be the guy right there that might, he might be something.
Might shock some people next year.
Yeah, he might shock some people next year, especially with his playing time. Brian Cook, you don't know this, boy.
Yeah, for real though, because I mean
that's what they're doing. I mean, the defense are trying to figure out ways to evolve. I mean, basically over the last 3-4 years, they're not evolving around on Lamar Jackson or anything like that. They're more so evolving around what Mahomes is doing, which is why they did
Allen.
2 safety highs and drop this and all that. I'm like, it's hard.
But now with Mahomes, it's like that too high safety stuff don't work no more because
Nope.
now he knows how to work underneath and in the zones,
And hit them
So
check downs.
hit them check downs with that's why the running back, Jerry McKinnon was getting all them touchdowns and stuff because he
Yep.
figured it out. Let me hit it off to the running back. Let me hit this tight end in this, right here in this little slot right here. Let me, whereas before it was like bombs away.
Yeah.
Because the ideal triple threat, I mean, had Hill still been there, it's like there's been the levels would have been, man, that would have been crazy if he would have had that element even with Hill still there. That would have been absolutely crazy.
I think they would have figured it because towards the back end of the season with Tyreek Hill, he had started figuring it out.
Yep.
He just kind of like back. He just kind of reverted though, like when they
And in the
Cincinnati
Bengals
game.
in the Bengals game, he was pressing. You know what I'm saying? And
Well, Andy Reid stopped running the damn ball. Jerry McKinnon was getting 6 yards a carry.
Drop 8, run 3. Rush 3. That's what they were doing.
And they all you had to do with that situation was hand the football off. I would have been like, okay, I'm just gonna hand the football off until they stop it.
I didn't even understand even though before they went into overtime, when we finally went down the field and had to kick that field goal, I don't know why they should have just kept running the football into the end zone. We trying to win.
Because there was like a RPO on that drive. I think it was first and goal, and on an RPO, if he hands it off to McKinnon that dude's right through the middle in the end zone. And boom, we're going to Super Bowl.
That part is on Mahomes because he's pulling it.
It was, because he's supposed to read that, but
even on that play though, it's like there were times where I think it was 2 receivers were open twice, and he didn't throw the ball. I'm like, oh man.
That was rough. He learned from it, though. He didn't hide from it.
No,
he made no excuses. He said, I got to get better, and he definitely did.
I mean, he had to put out an MVP season, so
exactly.
What more can you ask for, So, but no, he finally figured it out, man. He did, and I'm excited for. The crazy part is there's more he can add to his game. That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, even he says it. Yeah,
he's not even in his prime yet. Not even. A prime is basically what he's done the first 5 years.
Yeah,
that's a prime. If you'd have told me
he's not even there yet.
If you'd have told me retell this story 20 years from now, talking about he started out like this, and talking about that must have been the prime of the season. No, that's how he started.
That's how he started.
I think his prime is just starting, and I would say maybe last year was like the start of that.
The start of it, yeah. I would agree with that because once he started learning, now he's starting to like really know how to learn how to read defenses,
like dig in.
I bet you, I think the game is so like matrix slow.
It is. Like, see everything. Yeah. He sees a dude taking 2 steps back. Okay, he's going deep. He sees
it's just like.
I mean, we're talking about it's crazy though, because normally we would have called teams like these already a dynasty. Personally, me, I'm a believer that as far as when you have dynasties, you'll have maybe 3 and 4, maybe 3 and 5. That's probably my envelope. I would say.
I still call it a dynasty, but
it's on the cusp. It's on the cusp. If we had won against Tampa and then won this one, we'd be a dynasty right now.
I mean, if you want to talk about from a conference point of view. Yeah. They're already there.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
but even that's just wild.
That's not a question.
I mean,
why were you talking about the division? Right?
The division. I mean, if that was the case, we were talking about the division, then we would have had that in the Alex Smith era.
Yeah, exactly.
But I am going to tell you right now, if the Chargers win this division, just be ready for an anime clip for them to just talk about the whole season.
Hey, I will say the Chargers social media team.
Oh, it's
probably one of the best in the league.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now,
they gotta be great at something.
Yo, Chiefs, that schedule reveal video was trash. It was terrible.
Boy, man,
I was
too
confused.
much going on.
I was confused.
He had to pause it. I know he had to pause it.
I was like, "What the hell? What is going on with?" Oh, God, never mind.
They did a schedule review. They did a schedule review.
Yeah, you should go.
They got Patrick Mahomes. They got Patrick Mahomes on his. He's like got the football, like he's practicing and whatever. And then he's like looking at that. Did you get the schedule, Pat? And he takes them, and then it's like going through the schedule, but it's confusing.
They go to Instagram.
It's going everywhere. It's going everywhere. And it's like, what the
It's
hell?
like a screen recorded video on their phone or something.
Yeah.
It was better when they just had Dante Hall just announce it and say, "This is who we play." That was better. That was
But
simple.
if you're gonna do it, be cool. Like, don't do no stupid shit.
Yeah, come up with something like the Chargers really came up with something.
Yeah,
There.
I ain't gonna lie. Their thing was
That's the only area where they're creative in. Anything that's not related to on the field, that's where they're most creative. That's why they got nothing to show for it. Crazy. It don't make no sense.
It was dope though. I ain't gonna lie.
They schedule reveal should require crutches, wheelchairs, braces, and air cast, because that's the story all year long.
I'm going for it on 4th down.
Could you imagine what that would really look like if people actually told the truth? Well, by week 6, Mike Williams will probably be on IR, but then we play the New England Patriots. And then by week 8, Keenan Allen, who's usually an absolute beast, he'll probably be sidelined with a sprained thumbnail. So he'll be out against the Raiders, but we'll probably win that game. And then the game we're expected to win, yeah, I know we're playing the lowly Bears, but we're expected to win that game by 30, but then there'll be a predicted 28-point blown lead, and that will be our way we justify and why Eckler doesn't get paid. That's the reality of what it should look like. That's the reality.
Yeah, they're gonna be trash this year.
They don't deserve highlight clips and stuff like that. The only person who I feel bad for in that organization is LaDainian Tomlinson. That's the only one.
Antonio Gates too.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
those are the only two people I feel bad for.
Junior say y'all rest in peace.
Yeah, him too. Yeah, I agree with that.
But other than that, yeah.
I don't feel bad.
See the way and nobody else.
See, the thing about it is that when it comes to our divisions, I hate the Raiders and Broncos. I can't stand them. I hate them to death. I want them to lose every game. The Chargers, it's just kind of like, yeah, y'all in our division, but it's like, I don't hate y'all. Sometimes I don't like y'all. I don't like y'all. I don't like y'all because of the media, all the hype that the media puts on y'all. Because y'all always claim y'all got the best roster. They always claim y'all gonna win the division. And then every year it's the same old. Insert any quarterback. Phillip Rivers, now Justin Herbert. They always F up the season. They lose to teams they ain't supposed to lose to. Players getting hurt.
Last year. Oh, yeah, putting in players that had no business being in the game.
Week 18, playoffs locked up.
I just don't see how as a Chargers fan you can talk. I really don't.
Yeah.
Help me understand. I mean, even the Broncos fans and the Raiders fans have to be a little bit more silent, because here's the reality. We're now in a time where the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders have the same number of titles across the board. There is no Broncos, Raiders here, and then Chiefs, a 2 or 1. No, we're just as even and counting, because that window is still wide open. That thing is wide as probably the block I live in.
Mm-hmm. Very
and then you have the Chargers where you're like, you ever see that where they had the little dude with the stick and then they're poking at it to do something? That's who they are.
Yeah.
What are they known for? Cool jerseys?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Their jerseys look like some Walmart jerseys.
They're Oregon.
Yeah.
They're cool jerseys, but they don't win when it counts.
They disappear.
Oregon be coming up with some crazy jerseys though.
Hey man, they right there on the Nike.
Yeah, they better have the best.
Nike is their backyard.
They better have the best. I mean, if you live in the same city, and you have crappy jerseys, we need to have a conversation.
The owner went to Oregon, like that's his bread and butter.
Yeah,
so, then he drafted the quarterback that went to Oregon.
Exactly. But all right, before we go, fellas, I know we usually don't. It's early. We don't know. We ain't been through training camp and OTAs. I understand that. But looking at the schedule, what is your early record prediction?
I'm just gonna say it real quick because I got to go after this, but I think I got them like 13-4. I know everybody's picking like 1 or 2 losses. I think that's crazy, man. I mean, yeah, realistically, like they could do that, but you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna lose one of these games we shouldn't, and it's gonna happen. And we're gonna lose 1 or 2 games we shouldn't, and 1 or 2 games that we probably, I think they're favored in every game this year going into it. So, but they're going to lose some games they shouldn't. So I would say 13-4.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I'm gonna say 14-3.
Okay. I'm going 15-2, fellas.
Yep, that's fair.
15-2.
I mean, realistically, we got the team to do it.
Yeah. I got us losing to Jacksonville, and I got us losing the last game of the season because we're going to have the whole thing sold up.
We should.
We already won the division. We're the number 1 seed. So, yeah. All right, fellas. It's a good show.
Yep. I'll see y'all.
All right, Ty, man. All right, let's go ahead and show love to the sponsor. Every Morning Quarterback. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see the link. emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you go to that link, you'll see the locker room access of all the podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback umbrella. They got a 49ers one, they got a Chargers one, they got a Patriots one, and they got a Chiefs one. If you click on our banner, Arrowhead Chief Podcast, you can click on that. You'll see all our episodes from the past ones to the recent ones. Go ahead, show us some love, subscribe. Also, they have their own podcast too. They come on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. Hit them up on social media at EMQ Podcast. They talk about everything league-wide. They also have betting tips for the week. So give them a shout out. Shout out to Anthony, Brandon, Connor, and Zach for doing their thing at Every Morning Quarterback. And whatever social media or whatever streaming platform that you use, we are available on there, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Breaker, Anchor, wherever you use your podcast streaming platform on, we are on there. So subscribe, hit us up. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, we are on there too. Just type in AH Chief Podcast. You can find us on all social media platforms. We'll follow you back because our motto is we're not Hollywood over here. We're fans just like you. We just want to give y'all guys the best Chief content out there. Just remember, talk to us normal. Don't come at us raw. We just want the best Chief content for you guys. So any feedback, anything, that you want us to talk about, subject matters, topics, hit us up, man, and we'll definitely bring them up. So hope everybody has a good week. Thank you guys for tuning in for another week, and we will see you next time. Gone.